Good morning, everyone. There are a lot of familiar faces here. There are some faces that are not familiar. And if I have talked with you before today, in person, by Teams, by email, phone call, would you please raise your hand?
With us or have not?
Or have talked with you. Okay. Yeah, raise your hand. So yeah, there are some people I have not met. I wish I could be here all day today. There's a small chance I might pop in this afternoon. But anyway, my name is Paul Grimm. I am your SRP administrator, Special Recreation Permit Program. And in the course of a year, I will estimate that 1/3 of my time is spent taking care of the 220 permits that exist on the Kanab field office in the grand staircase. 1/3 of my time is spent processing new permit applications, and I wish that process could go a lot faster for the routine recreation that people have been doing for decades. But yes, to comply with the National Environmental Policy Act and other numerous BLM regulations, things take as long as they take. But I always appreciate the applicants' enthusiasm for responding as quickly as they can with their paperwork and answering questions I may have to move things along as quickly as possible. And then the other 1/3 of my time in a year is spent on stuff that I'll just call administrative overhead that might have a very indirect impact on the SRP program. But anyway, that's kind of how my year goes. So if you're ever trying to get a hold of me by email or you leave a voicemail or something and I have trouble getting back with you, there's generally never a dull moment in an SRP program that covers over 3 million acres and a field office and a monument. So on behalf of Harry Barber, the Paria River District BLM manager, Whit Bunning, the KFO manager, and Adair Nelson, the monument manager, thank you for taking your time to be here today. As Paul had mentioned, this is the 3rd year this event has happened now. There's like a 5-year hiatus due to COVID. So I think the last Outfitter and Guides meeting was like in 2018. And then, 2 years ago here in Kanab, we brought it back. So I want to thank Nate, Paul, the Grand Staircase Guide Association for running with this, particularly this year where BLM hasn't been able to help out as actively as in the previous 2 years. Last year up in Escalante, I had a 40-slide PowerPoint presentation on the new monument management plan and how it would impact recreation. And with circumstances this year, I decided let's just go ahead and ditch that. I can speak to any high-level questions you might have about that plan. Nathan already talked about the Congressional Review Act. That's what CRA is. If you weren't in the room, if you were to ask me, I'm down in the trenches. I'm down in the steamship below waterline, and I would be the last to know what's going on with this legislation going on up in Congress. I could probably say that also for 2 management levels above me, which would pretty much be all the way up to the state director. We would be the last to hear about the latest and greatest, what's going on with that in Washington, D.C. And I hear the same news you hear. And anyway, in the last 5 years I've been in this job, I've gone through 2 monument management plans, and we'll deal with this situation as it unfolds. So anyhow, EXPLORE Act, that's a new piece of legislation that was just approved in January 2025, bipartisan, and that's going to be bringing big changes to the SRP program. But right now, the BLM, we're trying to figure out how to accurately and precisely implement this. So in fact, I've got to leave early to attend another office hours meeting where there's a lot of questions and answers from the field at headquarters about, all right, what does this mean? What does that mean? And but you will be hearing more about the EXPLORE Act, and this is tied in with this online application system called RAPTOR. And you know what, frankly, I can't even, government acronym RAPTOR, Recreation Access Permitting and Tracking for, I forget what the ONR stands for. Anyway, you will hear that term again by September of 2029. The Bureau wants to see all SRPs put into RAPTOR, and so once I have firm, solid guidance, you'll be hearing about that, and I'm already thinking about a migration plan on how to, best move those 220 SRPs that I'm responsible for into RAPTOR. And anyway, there's a whole bunch of changes that you'll be seeing coming from just RAPTOR alone, or because of the EXPLORE Act, and RAPTOR implements the EXPLORE Act. They're both kind of tied together. But anyway, that's some just quick 10,000-foot overviews on both of those. So anyhow, does anyone have any questions? Yermo, you don't have a question for me?
Thank you for all that you do.
Oh, I wish I could make things happen faster. I'll tell you, one of my, it is gratifying when I'm able to get permits across the finish line after a multi-month process of, going through the red tape, the regulatory compliance, manager's reviews, tribal consultation. But yeah, bringing new permits online to, so that you all can get out and have fun sharing these beautiful resources with everyone else. Anyway, that's probably the highlight of my job, assisting existing permittees with like little snags or issues that will always come up, and yeah, figuring out, all right, where do I have wiggle room, or maybe I don't have wiggle room to address, whatever situation that might be impacting your particular company. Anyway, yeah, I enjoy working with the Guide Association to find solutions where that's possible. And but yeah, sometimes I deliver good news, sometimes I deliver bad news. It's the life of a government regulator, if I dare call myself that. So anyway.
Where do you fit your 1/3 of the term that you're out of venture?
That doesn't that doesn't count Saturdays and Sundays, and I've decided to stay away from fires just so I can have my weekends to goof off and enjoy these lands all over the Southwest like you all do. So was there a question in the back corner?
Yeah, what is the highest use areas in the Grand Scare case?
The highest use areas?
Maybe permit-wise or...
So up north, hands down, Lower Calf Creek Falls is the highest visitation area on the entire Grand Staircase National Monument. How many of you, just out of curiosity in this room, being that we're down here in Kanab, how many of you are regularly running trips up to Lower Calf Creek Falls, which is like a 2.5-hour drive from here? Yeah, not a single hand. I believe some of you are permitted for that, but Calf Creek Falls, it was like 2022 when people were getting sick and tired of the COVID lockdown and recreation was exploding. I think in that year there was like 38,000 visitors to the Lower Calf Creek Falls alone. So the interesting thing about that 3-mile trail is it is considered a front country zone, which means like you could have a group size limit according to the current monument management plan of 75 people. It's also 50% in a wilderness study area where normally the group size limit would be 12 people. And so essentially you have a situation here where this is a really popular area. It's technically in wilderness and it's lost its wilderness character, and therefore it's in a front country zone. And but anyway, so Calf Creek Falls, I'd say, is hands down number one, and not far behind, maybe in around the 20,000s, is the Peekaboo Spooky Slot Canyon system. Really beautiful for those of you that like to get a full body workout, stemming and scrambling through slots. So those are the two high use areas up north. And then down here in the south, so I'd say like Toadstools, that's in a wilderness study area. Only a 1 mile hike right off of Highway 89. And we can't put a bathroom out there if it's in a wilderness study area because you don't build buildings. And WSAs, the BLM mission is to maintain wilderness study areas for suitability so that Congress may one day decide, oh yeah, we want to turn this into a wilderness area. And in some ways, it's actually harder for me to do stuff in wilderness study areas than it is in actual congressionally designated wilderness areas like Paria Canyon, Vermilion Cliffs there in Arizona and in a little bit of Utah. So Toadstools is a high visitation thing because it's so convenient for people. And yeah, for the monument, yeah, no other really big high visitation areas are jumping. I'd say those are the top three for north and south together. Mel.
Kind of the same question, but where are the primary places that people holding SRPs are visiting, like our hotspots for guided use within the staircase?
So I would say, starting with the north first, so the north is more popular than the south because, well, how do I say it? That's where the really cool stuff is. And a lot of people, the cool stuff is in the WSAs. But yeah, people are hitting Hole in the Rock Road pretty hard to see Peekaboo Spooky, Zebra Tunnel, the upper Escalante River, so which includes Lower Calf Creek Falls, Upper Calf Creek Falls. Those are very easy to drive to, get out and do your hike and you're done. The Escalante River from the Highway 12 bridge, trailhead, I'd say those are the top corridor areas where there's lots of visitation. Most of my SRPs up north are really in those two areas, Hole in the Rock and the Highway 12 corridor. Not as many go into other really beautiful areas that are just harder to reach, like the Circle Cliffs, the Bird Trail. So, you know, there's Harris Wash with the, well, there's Harris Wash and then the Egypt bench, the Egypt slots. If you haven't been there, those are really cool. Egypt 3 is like a non-technical hike. You're just in 2 miles a slot, and yeah, obviously you have to pick a day where it's not going to rain because once you get started, you're pretty much committed, and yeah, and you don't want to rush through something like that anyways. So, and then down south, yeah, probably just stuff along the Highway 89 corridor. Well, okay, and then, so, you know, more and more people are going up Cottonwood, coming down Scoot-and-Paw or the other way. That loop and all those trailheads along there offers really beautiful opportunities that I think a lot of you are aware of. The Paria, Box, Lower Hackberry, Round Valley Draw. So, no secrets in case you were all wondering.
So back to the EXPLORE Act. I think a lot of people are excited about the...
Your mic done, right?
Yes.
Sundial Guides. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. A lot of people are excited about the access and streamlining the permit process. Mm-hmm. Does this conflict with like conservation goals with the BLM or the monument? So
I'll still have to follow NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. So if you need a permit, and so for, you know, businesses that expect to be doing lots of recurring visitation and all, I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot of streamlining in that sense. Yeah, doing the interdisciplinary team process where basically I take all of your proposals, I write them up in a summary and send them out to like 10 co-workers. That process will still take a couple of months. The tribal consultation isn't going away. I need to do tribal consultation letters every time for 16 different tribes. So for people that actually will need a permit, yeah, I don't expect any changes there. where EXPLORE Act is going to offer some more latitude, and we're trying to figure out the details on this is, yeah, if you're really small and you're a so-called one-off, like you're not going to be doing recurring visits to the same areas, yeah, there may be a chance where you could, you've probably heard the term casual use in the past. They've replaced it with another buzzword now called nominal effects. There might be a chance for really small people that say they just want to do some car camping, and they don't have any plans on coming back to the monument or the Kanab field office recurringly. There may be a situation like that where, okay, you actually don't need a permit, just follow, leave no trace, be a good person out there, and thank you for asking. So anyway, that's some of the high-level stuff that we're trying to figure out the details on. So good question, Mike.
So if I can add to that just real quickly, we have a meeting tomorrow, several of us with BLM, and we have a kind of a laundry list of topics, but the EXPLORE Act is a big part of that. I think we'll actually probably take up 75 to 80% of it, 2-hour meeting that we have. There are a number of things that are positive. There are a number of things that are potential head scratchers. And as Paul kind of mentioned, I don't think anyone really has a really good, clear view of how some of this stuff is going to get implemented, whether it's going to get implemented, et cetera, et cetera. So, I think one of the things that we'll probably do is follow up with everyone once we have a view of better view of things. And one of the next sessions here that Nate's going to lead is we would like to, I think you just hit the light switch there.
I leaned on it.
I think that one of the things that we're looking for input from everybody about is, what issues, opportunities, things that you would like us, again, as that kind of unified voice for guides and outfitters to bring to this BLM meeting that we have tomorrow. And we'll be meeting with, in one meeting, the Arizona Strip office as well as the KFO Grand Staircase office as well.
What was the date on Raptor implementation again?
Like September of 2029.
September 2029. Keep that in mind. Right.
And some of us are already using.
There we go. Get some time.
Using Raptor.
Don't lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
And I will make the comment that, as Paul mentioned, who knows what the acronym actually stands for, but I would say in my experience now using it with the Arizona Strip, it's what you would expect from a government program. It's not very intuitive, it's pretty clunky. Hopefully, over the next several years, they're going to improve upon that, and that's something that, again, as a guide association, we're going to be advocating for, because, in one regard, it makes, Paul's life easier, or should make Paul's life easier, but at the same time, hopefully, it makes our life easier as well. And right now, in my experience, at least with it, it's, like I said, it's a bit clunky. So, thanks, Paul.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. And who are you three with?
She said.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you for being here.
I don't know. This is just maybe a question. We're new with GSEP and we're hearing different things. Can you tell me the group size for wilderness study areas and not wilderness study areas?
So in wilderness study areas, it is 12 people. Under the old Trump RMP, it was 25. And then outside of wilderness study areas and what we call the primitive and outback zones, it's now 25. And in the front country zones, which you can think of as like they're really close to civilization, with this odd exception of the lower Calf Creek Recreation Area, those group size limits are 75. So,
And then they vary slightly with SMRs, right? Special recreation areas.
there might be some.
Limits with special rec areas. So.
Never brought a group of 75 tour bus going in, like a tour bus.
Calf Creek?
So,
Oh my gosh, okay.
yeah, how they park that thing. I think maybe they unload them up at the top and the people just walk down the hill. I think that's how it's done. But yeah, school buses. So yeah, occasionally maybe. I'm working on a wedding SRP right now, and for the particular area they want to get married in off the Bird Trail. It's like, although you could have 75, there aren't enough cars to park everything. It's going to be 10 cars and 60 people. So the monument manager will always have the discretion to, waive things, adjust things, and, based on my recommendations. So, Chris.
So on the size of groups, so basically we're restricted to in certain areas on guided guest ratio. What if I do a lot of the charity trips? And so basically I would then say, hey, Paul, we've got 50 or 60 for a certain area, then I'd have to apply for a special use permit for that area as well as my permit. So if somebody came to me like Leukemia Lymphoma and said, we have a big charity group of 100 people, we want to hike Calf Creek, we're at 75, could we look into this as a special permit or no?
Yeah, you would just reach out to me. Yeah, we'd look at the specific area and the management plan, and this applies on the KFO too. Yeah, if there's something going on that's going to exceed the group size limit for that area, the AO, the authorized officer, always has the flexibility to make a waiver, which should be documented in writing somehow or another.
Gotcha. And then what about seeing, say, if my permit says a certain areas and then something happened in that area, say like something got shut down, how would we redirect if we wanted to do another area that maybe we're not permitted in?
You'd contact me.
Same thing?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So.
Thanks.
Well, if that's it, if you're all going to let me off the hook right now, again, I want to thank you all for taking the time to come here today, and thank you for, educating the public on responsible recreation and, just educating them on things that we take for granted being down here in the desert Southwest. We really do have a national treasure down here that, people back east may not know the half of, let alone people from overseas. And so anyway, it's my pleasure to serve you all. Reach out to me anytime. Voicemails are the worst ways to get a hold of me. And oftentimes I don't think I leave voicemails with people anymore either. It's like, hey, I'll send an email after I tried calling. Email's likely the best way to reach me, and anyway, if there's something going on where we need to do a screen share, and so we're looking at the same map or whatever, this Teams technology is pretty impressive, and I'm starting to use that more and more. So anyway, well, thank you all. Have a wonderful day, and we'll stay in this cooperative, I don't want to use the word fight, we'll stay in this together. So.